The night has been quieter lately, but not peaceful. You've learned how to sit in silence while your mind keeps fighting battles nobody else can hear. You answer messages with dry words while carrying storms in your chest. You smile in rooms full of people, then go home and stare at the ceiling wondering why your soul still feels so heavy. And somehow, this message found you at the exact moment you were beginning to believe nobody truly sees what you've been carrying. But this message was never meant for everyone. There are people who will hear these words and feel nothing. They will scroll past them, ignore them, forget them. But your spirit paused for a reason. Something inside you needed this tonight, not because you are weak, not because you are broken beyond repair, but because you have been carrying pain for so long in silence that even your heart has become tired of pretending it is okay. And I know the exhaustion you never explain to anyone. I know about the nights when you lay awake replaying conversations in your head, wondering what you could have done differently. I know about the ache you feel when your phone stays silent from the person you hoped would finally understand you. I know how draining it is to keep showing up for everyone else while secretly feeling abandoned yourself. There have been moments recently when you looked completely calm on the outside while internally you were begging for relief. Nobody noticed. Nobody asked the right questions. So, you swallowed the emotions again and kept going. But your silence has never been invisible to me. Even now, there is a heaviness in your chest you cannot fully describe. Part of you is exhausted from waiting for clarity, waiting for peace, waiting for healing, waiting for life to finally stop hurting so deeply. You keep wondering when things will finally shift for you, because lately it feels like you've been surviving more than living. And what makes it harder is that you've tried to stay strong through all of it. You've tried to be patient, tried to stay hopeful, tried to keep faith alive even while disappointment kept arriving at your door uninvited. There were nights you almost gave up emotionally, not publicly, not dramatically, quietly. The kind of giving up where you stop expecting good things to happen. The kind where you still wake up, still go to work, still answer people, still function, but internally something begins shutting down. Your excitement fades. Trust weakens. Your hope becomes cautious. And eventually you become so used to carrying sadness that you no longer remember what emotional rest even feels like. Yet somehow, you are still here. And that matters more than you realize. Because the fact that you survived seasons that almost destroyed your spirit means there is still something sacred inside you that refuses to die. Even after betrayal, even after heartbreak, even after being misunderstood, even after crying alone in rooms where nobody could hear you. There is still a small part of your soul quietly fighting to believe tomorrow could feel different from today. That small part is not foolish. It is the reason you are hearing this now. You thought your waiting season meant you were forgotten, but what if the silence was never abandonment? What if there were things being prepared inside you that could only grow in hidden places? Some transformations happen loudly. Others happen in darkness, slowly, painfully, invisibly. Like roots growing beneath frozen ground before spring ever arrives, and you have been growing in ways you cannot yet see. The heartbreak changed you. The disappointment changed you. The loneliness changed you. You are not the same person you were a year ago. There are wounds inside you now that made you more careful with your trust. There are memories you avoid revisiting because they still sting when they surface unexpectedly. Sometimes a song, a place, a late-night thought suddenly brings everything rushing back again, and you hate how deeply you still feel things. But your ability to feel deeply is not your weakness. It is proof that your heart survived without becoming completely cold. There are people who hurt you and moved on casually while you stayed behind trying to understand what happened. People who promised permanence and disappeared the moment things became inconvenient. People who enjoyed the softness of your heart while never protecting it. And because of that, you began questioning your worth in secret. You began wondering if maybe you were too emotional, too sensitive, too difficult to love. But the truth is simpler than the lies pain whispered to you. You were pouring love into places that did not know how to hold it carefully. And now your soul is tired. Tired of overthinking every detail. Tired of pretending you are fine. Tired of carrying responsibilities while emotionally running on empty. Tired of trying to heal while life keeps demanding more from you. Some mornings you wake up already exhausted before the day even begins. You scroll through your phone searching for distraction while your heart quietly searches for hope. You drive in silence because music suddenly feels too emotional. You sit beside people and still feel alone somehow. And the hardest part, you rarely tell anyone how bad it truly feels. Because you don't want to become a burden. Because you fear people will misunderstand your pain. Because every time you tried explaining your emotions before, someone minimized them, ignored them, or made you feel dramatic for having them. So now you carry entire oceans inside yourself while speaking in tiny sentences. But I need you to hear this carefully tonight. You do not have to earn love by suffering silently. You do not have to destroy yourself trying to keep everyone comfortable. And you do not have to keep pretending your heart is okay when it is crying for rest. There is a reason your soul has been feeling restless lately. A reason old emotions keep resurfacing. A reason you suddenly feel detached from things that once distracted you. Something inside you is changing. Your spirit is becoming too aware to continue settling for environments, people, and patterns that slowly drain your peace. What once felt normal now feels heavy because you are no longer meant to stay emotionally trapped there. This season has not only been about loss, it has also been revealing. Revealing who truly cares. Revealing what keeps wounding you. Revealing the habits that numb your pain temporarily while deepening it internally. Revealing how much you've abandoned yourself emotionally just to avoid disappointing others. And once your eyes begin opening to these things, you cannot unsee them anymore. That realization hurts. Because healing is uncomfortable before it becomes freeing. Sometimes growth feels like loneliness at first because you begin separating from what no longer aligns with your peace. You stop forcing conversations. Stop chasing people. Stop begging for reassurance. Stop shrinking yourself just to be accepted. And while that distance protects your spirit, it can also make you feel isolated temporarily. You begin wondering if anyone truly understands the new version of you that is emerging from all this pain. But you are not becoming harder to love. You are becoming harder to misuse. There is a difference. And deep down you already know it. You've spent too much time blaming yourself for things that were never fully your fault, carrying guilt that does not belong to you, replaying failures repeatedly as if punishing yourself could somehow rewrite the past. But the truth is that you were trying your best with the emotional strength you had at the time. You were surviving situations that drained you mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Of course you became tired. Of course you became anxious. Of course your heart started craving reassurance. You are human, and humans were never meant to carry this much pain alone. That is why your soul has been longing for comfort lately in ways you cannot explain. Why certain words suddenly make you emotional. Why random moments of kindness almost bring tears to your eyes. Because underneath your strength is someone who has desperately needed gentleness for a very long time. And gentleness is coming back into your life, not all at once. Not magically overnight, but slowly, steadily, genuinely. There are things unfolding that you cannot fully see yet. Conversations that will shift something inside you. Doors that will open unexpectedly. Moments of peace that will arrive after months of emotional chaos. You have been assuming the story was ending simply because the chapter became painful. But painful chapters are not proof that hope disappeared. Sometimes they are the exact moments where transformation quietly begins. You keep asking when your breakthrough will come. But breakthroughs rarely arrive looking dramatic at first. Sometimes they begin as small things. Finally sleeping peacefully after months of anxiety. Finally laughing without forcing it. Finally releasing someone who kept hurting you. Finally believing you deserve better. Finally waking up without that constant heaviness crushing your chest. Healing often starts quietly before it changes everything. And your healing has already begun. Even in moments where you felt like you were falling apart, parts of you were actually rebuilding. You were learning boundaries, learning discernment, learning emotional honesty. Learning that constantly abandoning your own needs to save others only leaves your soul starving. These lessons came painfully, but they are preparing you for a future version of yourself that no longer survives on crumbs of love. Because where you are going, peace matters more than performance. You will no longer need to prove your worth endlessly just to receive basic care. You will stop chasing validation from emotionally unavailable people. You will stop apologizing for needing reassurance, affection, honesty, or consistency. The version of you emerging from this season understands now that love should not constantly feel confusing, unstable, or emotionally exhausting. And yes, there are still moments ahead where fear will try to return. Moments where anxiety whispers worst-case scenarios into your mind again. Moments where loneliness revisits you unexpectedly at night. Moments where old wounds try reopening. Through memory and overthinking, healing is not perfectly linear. Some nights will still feel heavy, but you are no longer who you were when this pain first found you. You are stronger now, not because suffering made you emotionless, but because you kept surviving without losing your capacity to love, hope, and care deeply. That is strength. Real strength. The kind nobody applauds because it happens privately. The kind that looks like getting out of bed while your heart feels shattered. The kind that looks like continuing life while carrying invisible grief nobody fully understands. And I have seen every hidden battle, every silent panic attack, every night you cried into your pillow quietly, every moment you stared at your reflection wondering if life would ever feel lighter again, every time you typed a message then deleted it because you feared rejection, every moment you wanted someone to notice your pain without having to explain it. You were never alone in those moments, even when it felt that way, especially when it felt that way. The loneliness you've been feeling lately has convinced you that nobody truly understands your inner world. But there are people being aligned with your life who will not require you to hide your emotions to be accepted. People who will bring calm instead of confusion, safety instead of instability, presence instead of inconsistency. Your heart has become so used to emotional survival mode that peace almost feels unfamiliar now. But peace is still meant for you. Do not mistake delayed blessings for permanent denial. Your story is not over because this season became dark, and this next part matters deeply. Stop measuring your worth by who failed to appreciate you. Some people encountered your heart during seasons where they were too wounded, immature, distracted, or emotionally unavailable to handle it properly. Their inability to value you was never proof that you lacked value. Flowers do not become worthless because someone failed to water them correctly, and neither do you. There is still beauty inside you that pain could not destroy. Even now, beneath the exhaustion and sadness, there is a softer future waiting to meet you. A future version of yourself that no longer cries every night wondering if things will ever improve. A version of you that breathes easier, smiles genuinely, sleeps peacefully, feels emotionally safe again. You cannot fully imagine that version right now because pain has clouded your vision for too long, but they are closer than you think. One day this season will make sense differently. One day you will realize the delays protected you, the endings redirected you, the loneliness revealed you to yourself, the heartbreak deepened your discernment, the waiting strengthened parts of your spirit that comfort never could have developed. But for now, you do not need to understand everything. You only need to keep going, one breath at a time, one morning at a time, one healing step at a time. And when fear returns tonight, when overthinking starts replaying every uncertainty, again, when your chest tightens wondering how everything will work out, remember this: you are not being punished. You are being carried through a season that is teaching your soul how to heal without losing hope. That is why this message found you. Not everyone would understand it, not everyone would feel it, but your spirit recognized something familiar in these words because deep down you have been craving reassurance that your pain has meaning, that your life still matters, that your future has not disappeared simply because your present feels heavy. And it hasn't. There are still beautiful moments ahead with your name on them. Moments you cannot currently predict. Moments where relief finally replaces pressure. Moments where clarity interrupts confusion. Moments where genuine love enters your life gently instead of painfully. Moments where you look back at this version of yourself with compassion instead of shame. Please do not give up before you meet the person you are slowly becoming. You have survived too much already to stop now. And tonight, before sleep finds you, release the pressure to have everything figured out immediately. Release the belief that you must heal perfectly to deserve peace. Release the fear that you are running out of time. Your journey is unfolding in ways your anxious mind cannot fully calculate yet. Rest, not because every problem is solved, because your soul deserves moments of softness too. You have carried enough for long enough, and if your heart is trembling while hearing these words, if tears are forming in your eyes for reasons you cannot fully explain, let this be your reminder that something inside you is still alive despite everything that tried to break you. Hope is still alive. Love is still alive. And you are still deeply worthy of the life your heart quietly longs for. So tonight, breathe slowly. Let the heaviness leave your shoulders little by little. You do not have to carry tomorrow before it arrives. And as you close your eyes later, may peace reach the places inside you that nobody else ever noticed were hurting. May your mind finally rest from constant fear. May your heart remember it is still deserving of tenderness. May healing enter your life gently, steadily, completely. And may you wake up soon realizing this painful season did not come to destroy you. It came to lead you somewhere softer. If this message reached your heart at the right moment, comment Amen below. Subscribe if you need more messages like this during difficult seasons, and share this with someone who has been silently carrying pain alone tonight.